Hi guys, in this video we're going to be painting and learning about Cauldrons of Blood.
Scruffy Crow.
So this is the 20mm square bases that most of my stuff's going on. But the vehicles, I'm giving them a bit more room with these 25mm square ones. It looks like a lot of people don't base their vehicles. I personally think that just sort of sets it off a little bit. I think that makes it look a bit better. I don't know. I feel that's like a better option for me anyway on the table. So, Cauldrons of Blood. Very simple models. They only come in 3 parts. So we have a cauldron, a little tank part, and then the scythe parts. The scythe parts, as you can see, have a pretty rough connection point. So a lot of these had that. So you can see on one that I have cleaned up already, I've just ground down the back there. I am occasionally finding just little bits like this, sort of crusty bits of dried paint. I mean, no one's ever going to look under here anyway, but still remove that. And because the paint's already been damaged by the stripper, you can just scrape that out now. One thing I do like is these models are going to be 20 years old, but you can still see the original sort of sprue collections and vents and everything on some of them. Another thing I've noticed about these ones, this isn't the worst example, but it's the only one left. They had quite a bad sort of sprue connection or whatever you call it on the bottoms here. So the few ones I bought off eBay that had been put together, no one had bothered to file this off, and it ended up looking quite uneven when it was sat in there. So that's a bit I'm going to make sure we get. And we can be pretty rough on the bottom here because that's going inside the rest of this little car. We don't need much glue, nowhere near as much as some people were putting on. And that should just rest nice and flat. Look, there's no movement in this one. Now I've really done this in the wrong order. You may have noticed that there is a pretty egregious mould line around the front there. And it's too late for me to get that with my file. But I will go in with my knife and try and remove as much of that so it's not so obvious. I was also a bit of a conundrum about how I was getting these guys on the bases. So they're just getting 4 dabs of glue. But it's more about how they're going to sit. So I kind of want them all to match. And since the bases don't really matter, it doesn't matter that they hang over the front like that. But just for the aesthetic, I kind of want the base of the vehicle to be sort of roughly centered on the base. Which is kind of the theme I've gone for with other ones such as this. So with the sticky out bits sticking over the edge, I think that works quite well. Okay, so the first step I'm going to take with these guys, same as I have with all the rest of my vehicles, is going to be a coat of this contrast Flesh Tearers Red.
The veins of demons flow not with mortal blood but the red-hot lava of demon blood. A huge, bubbling cauldron of demon blood is carried on top of the demon engine to supply the great cannon which juts out of its front. Once targets are within range, a great gout of blood is fired through the projecting nozzle, raining the foe with molten lava.
And there we go. So I'm going to leave these a little while to dry. Probably till tomorrow now. Okay, so once the Flesh Tearers contrast had dried, I've gone over with the Cauldron Red base, and I just did a big generous dry brush, and I've got to that sort of state where I've got a lot of my vehicles. The next step is going to be to put black on the sort of, I don't know what you'd call that, sort of lawnmower type thing on the front there, as well as on the cannon on the front here. And then there's some sort of gubbins up the back, which is sort of the axles before they disappear under these sort of side skirts. And I don't know, what looks to be a little fuel tank or something. I think they're all the bits that are going to be silver at the moment. Next I'm going to go in with another base paint. We're going to go with this Celestia Grey. And I'm going to do, I think, probably just all the skulls. If it's a skull, it's going to be white. Well, not quite actually. If it's a big skull, it's going to be white. Okay, we're really getting somewhere now. So I've done all the skulls that I want in white. And already this guy is looking awesome, I think. It's really got that sort of 90s style. It kind of reminds you of like spawn, things like that. I've also decided to do the little spikes on these black. I hadn't before because I think that kind of breaks everything up, gives the right sort of ratios. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to carry on for a little bit with this one model. So if I decide that I don't like the way the colour scheme's heading, I can change my mind and try something different on the rest of them, rather than doing it 5 times over and then deciding I don't like it. Okay, so I've taken a little bit of a break from these for a while, but I'm sat back down now, and I'm keen to get them finished up. This was my first attempt at finishing one off. I am really happy with some parts of it, and less happy with others. I'm really happy with the way the whites have come out, and the amount of white. I'm not so happy with the contrast between the gold and the red in these sides. So I'm going to continue to have a little play with this, and try and work out what the best option to get these finished up will be. Okay, I had a play around and tried a couple of things. Started by highlighting up the gold with some solid gold. I think that helped bring it out. I also threw a bit of a wash on those skulls, try and bring a bit of contrast. I think that looked better. I changed the way the side was painted. I took out a lot of the silver and replaced it with the black highlighted in the grey, and I like that more. I think that was more striking. On this side, I just tried painting the skulls in black, and there we go. I've given them a little tickle in the grey, and actually I way prefer that. So that is the colour scheme we're going to go for all the rest of my Cauldrons of Blood. So I'm going to get the first few layers of the white skulls down, and I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, so that's all the white done on each of them. I've also gone round and dry brushed some of the black bits with the silver. So we're working towards this model. I'm now going to go around and fill in the gold. I'm not going to give the whole thing a wash of Nuln Oil to increase the shadows on the bit I just did. Okay, so these 5 are starting to resemble the odd one out a little bit more now. So I did the gold, finished off the black, and then gave the whole thing pretty much a wash, just leaving some of the red parts unwashed. I think that's given them a sort of quite a nice dark, grimdark look, and it's brought out all those details in the skulls. And now I'm going to go around with this white scar, and I'm going to basically pick out all the details so it looks like this one. Okay, these guys are shooting along. I've given the front forks a little tickle with this Quicksilver, and I have daubed some of the Rhinox hide across the bases using a nice big brush. And we are very almost there now. So this is the one we're aiming for, and these are his 5 little buddies. And I think all I've really got left to do now is the blood. So as I mentioned before, this is Tamiya Clear Red, and this is pretty noxious stuff. Oh, I wish this was smell-o-vision. It actually, I don't know if you'd like it or not, but this is it's got a very distinct smell. It's kind of sweet, I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna use this brush for this. This is from Wish and only cost a few pence. I'm going to get a nice dollop on the end of the brush and just let that drop into the centre of here. And I'm just going to spread it around to the outsides. Something a bit like that. And as that dries, that'll sink down and it'll stick to the edges more than it sticks to the centre, and we'll get this sort of pooled effect that we've got on there. Okay, so that's all my blood puddles done, and I'm going to call that a day. I think these have come out quite nicely. I've kept them quite striking. I do still have to put the 2 layers of dry brush to finish the bases off, and then I'll black rim the bases like I have done with this one. But I'll have to wait until it's all fully dry before I do that. But yeah, I think these guys have come out pretty nicely. I think they look pretty striking. 6 was probably too many to do at once because they were a bit of a chore to paint. But overall, I'm pretty happy with them. And that's all for this video. Please let me know what you thought down in the comments. Maybe subscribe for more. And as ever, thanks for watching. Bye.